Now we're live. Hi. Welcome back to Jargon. We were just doing some stuff, running a few
We're,
seconds over.
yeah, we're a little behind, a little behind. Oh, and speaking of being behind,
It's not as bad as the WAN show, right?
we were behind by being on time. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, we were, what, 5 seconds behind? Because we have a lot. We have a lot of stuff now. That's cool.
We're working hard,
So,
people.
yeah, we might as well talk about that. So we have a website. It's actually live. jargonpodcast.com.
Yeah,
Go there. We have articles. We actually took the time to write articles about the stories that we cover here.
we still have some articles that need to go live, but
Yeah.
it would appear they're going live after the stream.
So everything we're talking, well, most of what we're talking about today, will be on our website for you to read through if you don't care to watch us, which is fine.
Yeah. We understand.
Yeah.
We don't like you for it, but we understand.
Do you want to cover the stories for today? Just briefly go over the important ones.
Momentarily, I didn't have my documents organized.
Okay. I can do it. I have it open.
Uh, like I got everything opened. I just didn't have them where I need everything yet. I'm like swapping monitors around and stuff now.
I understand that.
There we go. All right, I can do that. Live stream, Slack. We're good. Okay. Uh, Hi everybody who's watching. All right. Okay. So first article. NVIDIA enables DirectX 12 on 400 and 500 series cards. NVIDIA cards. Yeah. So don't mistake those. All right.
We have
NVIDIA enables.
We have news from Dell that they'll be the first pre-build sellers with Threadripper.
Steam UI refresh incoming.
Not a whole lot on that. It's literally a one bullet point from one slide from a random conference in the Netherlands. So it's a thing, though.
The Netherlands games?
Yeah, of course.
The Netherlands.
Nintendo is apparently refusing to go along with PC gaming.
A Chinese company to start limiting playtime on their most popular game.
And we have some cool news about Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 coming to Origin Access. I think those are the big ones.
Yep.
Well, before we go into those stories, we have another surprise. Check this. I'm playing the intro, and they can hear us, which is kind of cool. Rolling. Yeah, we have an intro now. Cool
Yeah,
stuff.
we do.
All right. Well, all of that out of the way. And we can go ahead and cover these if you like.
All right. Now, what'd you think of that intro, guys? It was freaking sweet, huh?
Yeah. We both worked on it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I learned some stuff today. All right, hang on. Facebook is being a wonky son of a gun.
I'm not surprised.
Just a minute. Here we go. Okay, that did me no freaking good.
So, to address some of the comments here, we already have comments flooding in. That's nice. Clint, why does my enthusiasm kill you?
I finally have comments that aren't working still. What the Smurf?
It happens, man. I just pulled it up on desktop. Because my phone is just completely unreliable when it comes to Facebook comments during live streams.
Oh my goodness.
I never have enthusiasm. Clint says I have a lack thereof.
I see right. That. Hopefully the comments update for me. The video's playing, but the comments don't seem to be updating. Can somebody type a comment, please?
I sure can.
Yep.
Nothing?
Nothing.
What? You? Bacon. Nice. Nathan threw a good porky word in there.
I
All right.
Yeah, I have no comments, guys. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to track the
Fine.
comments, bud.
Yeah, I'll pull it over to another monitor. Bam.
Okay.
Rearrange my stuff
So
here now.
I'm just gonna start jumping into articles. It's been 5 minutes, and my problems are nobody else's. So
Go ahead.
NVIDIA enables DirectX 12 on their 400 and 500 series graphics cards. Um, Reasons behind this unknown. They are not optimizing it at all. Um, some scores were posted for TimeSpy, which is benchmarking software that uses DirectX 12, and the 400 and 500 series cards sucked just as hard as we would have expected them to against a GTX 1070.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're pushing DirectX 12 on such old hardware. What's the point? Everybody that wants to move on has pretty much moved on, I would think. These cards are really old.
Yeah.
From what,
Like maybe
2010, 2011?
Yeah, maybe it's like you said the other day when I was asking you the same question, like why? Like perhaps Ethereum mining?
Even then, though, there are so many so many CUDA cores on, the newer cards, and the memory is so much faster that.
Well, at the same well, that's actually the thing too, is most cryptocurrency mining is done in OpenCL, so that's the Vulkan API.
Right.
So it still doesn't make any darn sense to enable DirectX 12. What? I don't know. Either way, people, if you're running a 400 or 500 series graphics card, do your best, try to upgrade. Like,
I like that WCCF Tech, when they ran these benchmarks, they actually kind of matched it up with the older hardware, so they used like a 2600K here. That's cool.
yeah,
I mean,
they're-
they still used a 512 gig SSD, but that's beside the point.
maybe that's the reason why the scores were so low. Blame the processor. It was the processor, everybody.
Oh yeah, of
Sorry,
course.
these scores, they're garbage scores. It was the processor. That GTX 1070 didn't do any work at all.
Nah. Nah.
Ah.
All right, so I'll go ahead and jump into this Steam UI refresh. Pull up the article here. So Valve has confirmed that Steam will get a user interface refresh at the Indigo 2017 conference. That is the conference I mentioned in the Netherlands. It was held on June 30th. And again, this is that one thing that actually tells us. It is one bullet point from one slide, from one presentation. But users have been kind of data mining Steam for a while, and apparently they've uncovered some rumor. Well, they've developed some rumors from things they found inside of Steam, which led them to believe a user interface refresh was coming. This really just confirms it. So expect to see an updated user interface on Steam soon. And of course, whenever that comes out, we will be right ahead of the game and bringing that information to you.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah, it'll be on a Saturday show.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
That's literally it. That's all we have.
What's the most recent comment you see, buddy?
I jack Zach's phone since it's nicer than mine. LOL.
Oh, you're behind in the comments too.
Great. Great. It's good to know that Facebook comments are reliable like that.
Oh God. So right now seems like a great time, a better time than ever to join our forum.
Yeah, but there's nothing in our forum right now.
There's nothing in our forum.
There's nothing. I think we didn't even make
Or-
an intro post, did we?
No, we're not even in our forum. Hey, my comments are working. Yay, Facebook. Thanks, Nathan.
It's working for me, but we'll see. We'll see for how long. I had to refresh the page.
I popped. There it went with Katie's as well. Clint says sad face. I'm not even in our forum, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are. You're in the forum, right?
remember when I made my forum account?
Kind
That
of.
was the last time I was in the forum.
Same. I helped you make your account, and that was it. I set up the forum, and then I haven't made a post because no one's there.
No one's
Mm,
there. Join our forum, guys. It's
the endless
lonely.
cycle. The endless cycle.
No. All right. So Dell will be the first pre-build sellers with Threadripper.
Red Ripper.
No. All right. So Dell's Alienware PC lineup, the Area 51, will be the first pre-built systems with Threadripper. These will become available July 27th, so that's coming up pretty freckin' quick. 19
Kraken.
days. Freckin'. I could have said the other word, but I was being nice.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. So the systems will all be factorily, frickin' face. The systems will all be factory overclocked and liquid cooled. The Area 51 PCs will also support the new Core i9 CPUs from Intel starting in August, so August 22nd. But unfortunately, it's a little sad because the i9 CPUs will not be overclocked at all, and they will not come with liquid cooling. The only thing that you will get with the Intel CPUs is Intel Optane, which is awesome. But at the same time, they're offering M.2 SSDs with these systems, which kind of renders Optane pointless.
Yeah, kind of.
Like Intel Optane's awesome. It's like an awesome technology, but it would have been even cooler 5 years ago. Just
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there.
I don't.
We don't
Intel's
we don't really
working
need
back.
Optane anymore unless you have mechanical drives. If you're using super speed SSDs, there's really not that much of a point in Optane. I mean, I guess it's great for budget builds because you can still, flesh out most of your storage with mechanical storage and use Optane to kind of boost it. But yeah, I mean, if you're using M.2 SSDs for boot and applications and storing games on like SATA SSDs,
There's no requirement for Optane
yeah,
at that
you're
point.
better off just putting that money into higher capacity SSDs.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing too is like the i9 CPUs are definitely showing higher overclocking capabilities, which doesn't frickin' matter because they're not gonna be overclocked in your Area 51.
Right.
But at the same time, they're twice the freaking cost, if not more. Like we haven't even seen Threadripper's pricing yet, and we've seen a little bit of it, but we already know it's a lot freaking cheaper than Intel's lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really where AMD is going to kill it this generation. It's kind of where they've always killed it. Price to performance, AMD wins. That's just how they work as a company. Just
It,
how they work.
yeah, Intel's been really working against themselves, like hard. They're like, let's build processors that suck. They'll have the highest IPC ever, but we'll only offer quad cores as the highest variant. And then we'll build the extremes on the same platform for a different socket that makes no freaking sense because there's no integrated GPUs.
And for the people that want to overclock, here's a Core i3.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a Core
What?
i3 because the Core i5s and i7s they like to fry themselves and the threads like to fail.
Ooh, he said you don't process her good.
Yeah, like Intel, pull your head out of your butt and work on this. Like, I honestly, I have to agree with you. Last stream we talked about this. You said that the only reason Intel was able to take such a strong lead is because AMD literally just tucked their head between their legs and let it happen.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's exactly what happened. AMD, they just didn't do anything.
Yeah, like they literally did nothing.
They released the Bulldozer platform, improved it, I think, just a little bit for Vishera. And, I mean, I'm still using a Vishera. The processor's like 5 years old.
And they're still beasts.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, it
ridiculous beasts.
is running this podcast. So there's that. Um,
Like my Ryzen CPU here, dude, like when I was rendering those videos earlier, like the intro videos, it took me like 12 seconds.
yeah, that's good. And they're 22
Like,
seconds long, so
yeah. So
that's
I was
good.
actually rendering faster than like, the video is long, which is not generally how rendering videos works.
I mean, if you can, they're not that complicated because you're just adding audio, right?
Yeah.
But the After Effects thing, it took me when I actually built the intro in After Effects, it took maybe 15 minutes to render it out. Each time for a 22-second video. Once I, and at that point they were like AVI files, and they were huge. They were like 7 gigs in
Oh,
size.
I'm looking at the chat. Don't you worry, guys. I'm looking. I've been reading. I'm just trying to figure out how we talk to specific.
We can address that in a minute. Um, Once they were like 7 gigs as AVI files, to reduce them to a reasonable file size, I threw them in Premiere, dropped them in down to like 27 megabytes
Yeah.
as MP4s, and that took about 20 seconds. It was about a 1-to-1 ratio.
Pop quiz. What selection do you have to choose in Premiere to actually get an MP4?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking Clint because he was in the same class we were.
Zach, we didn't even learn Premiere.
I know we learned Vegas.
We didn't learn any of the real programs that I use it as a graphic designer on a daily basis.
That class was garbage. Not any fault to anybody but the school. Like
Yeah, I
straight
mean,
up the school.
well,
But
now they're doing it now, which is important.
yeah, that works.
Yeah. Well, next on the list, let's see.
Hang on, we got to talk about the chat. We got to talk about the
Okay,
chat.
talk about the chat.
All right. So how are we talking too specific? That's what I want to know. Clint, why are we talking too specific?
Yeah, what he said.
What pause, Nathan?
I mean, it could be like Katie mentioned. She said, "Is that a question about their obvious preference?" I think she was referring to like Intel versus AMD. So maybe Clint was referring to Intel versus AMD. Not quite
Maybe.
sure.
So that's the thing is neither of us truly prefer one brand over the other. It's just Intel totally dropped the ball. If we're talking Skylake versus FX or Haswell versus FX, both of those Intel lines destroyed.
Yeah, they did.
But Ryzen versus Kaby Lake, Ryzen's really destroying, and Ryzen versus Kaby Lake X, it's Kaby Lake X and Skylake X, not the i7 variants, the i9 variants. It's brutal.
It's really
AMD.
convoluted. It's a lot more complicated than it has to be, I think.
Oh, the pause when I actually read Clint's comment and put all those periods in there. Okay, so let's move forward. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
I will. So next on my little docket here is PlayStation Now. So this is kind of cool. Cool to me anyway. So a lot of PlayStation games are actually coming to PC through PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is like a service that Sony's offering that allows you to stream games from their servers directly to your PC or your PlayStation. So they will host PS4 games like Killzone that just came up on the screen, and allow you to stream them directly to your Windows PC. So some of you may remember OnLive. That was a service that existed a few years ago that rendered the games on NVIDIA-powered servers and then stream like the video and the audio to your computer, and stream the input output from your mouse and keyboard to the server to control the game. Now, of course, when they started that, input lag was extremely bad. Internet connections are not as good as they are today, not as stable, and with such low ping. But now it seems to have straightened out enough that Sony's offering the service to their customers. So, what does it take to get PlayStation Now? Currently, it requires a compatible Windows PC. I'll have the specs on the associated post with this on our Facebook, or I'm sorry, our website, jargonpodcast.com. It requires a DualShock 4 controller and a current PlayStation Now subscription or trial. And finally, a 5 megabit per second or greater internet connection. So you can get a 7-day free trial, which I was planning on doing to try it out, but I actually don't own a PS4 controller. So there's that.
Thanks, Facebook, you freaking jerks.
Oh. If I had a PlayStation 4 controller, I would absolutely love to try it. If any of you do, if you own a PlayStation, and even a relatively good computer, because most computers made within the last few years can run this no problem.
Easily.
Yeah, let us know how it works. I would be very interested to see how this kind of technology works in the future, because this could really change everything if it works well. Yeah, here's the brief description for how to play on PC. So just click this learn more link, and you gonna go?
Click the learn link.
Click the learn link. Yeah, so those are the requirements that I mentioned. And it does support the wireless adapter as well for the PlayStation 4 controller.
We get what you're saying, Clint, and I really appreciate it. In the future, we will definitely work on not going ultra specific on the hardware or something, maybe, and try to give a little bit more broad explanation for people that might not understand as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
But we are called Jargon, so you might have to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to find our audience, and our audience is really, I guess, the PC enthusiast, the person that likes to tinker with computers and would actually understand the terms that we go into sometimes. And I mean, we're still trying to find those people. And it's really just a matter of, having the people that are currently watching this, share it with their friends on Facebook and other social media. So we actually get this out there so other people can see it. Because we have next to a $0 budget, and ads are expensive.
Ads are very expensive.
I mean,
my screen is shaking.
It costs us next to nothing to make the ad, and we can do that with no problem, but to actually publish it on Facebook or Google and get any kind of traction would cost money. Like real money.
A lot of money.
Grown-up money.
Grown-up money.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nathan. That's one way to help us get our target audience.
I'm not getting my comments.
He shared. I got the notification.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Nathan. You're a gentleman and a scholar. All right. Would you like to cover the next topic?
Yeah. So as you just covered, Sony is, they're saying yes to PC gaming, but Nintendo's saying no.
Nice segue.
Thank you. And by saying no, I'm talking about the fact that Nintendo's scared, guys. They're scared of our awesome hardwares. Thank you, Clint, for sharing.
Yeah, I'd like to make a side comment and thank Clint for sharing as well. Thank you, Clint.
Nintendo says that they will not be releasing any of their games to the PC market due to the fact that PC has such variables in hardware capabilities and branding and all of that. Nintendo says that they do not want to put the time or money needed to write support into their games into that sort of market. They would rather continue to build on their own platforms because they know the specifics of what the hardware can handle. And they use devices as a means of telling the story. All of Nintendo's games are stories to them. They build the hardware specifically to tell the story. Sounds like a
That's
cheap way
interesting.
of saying we're scared of all your hardwares.
I mean, it could be that, or it could just be that they're so story driven that they're kind of lacking in. I mean, there are two parts to it, right? Let me switch the cameras first. So there are really two things here. You have to focus on the story and the gameplay of your game, right? Make it a good game. But the other portion, I think, anyway, is you have to make the game work. In order to make the game work, you need to invest in hardware. You need to invest in build quality, marketing, get it to the right people, all of those things. And if you're not investing specifically in the hardware to make your games work well, they're not going to work well. It's kind of a prerequisite, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, or you could have people that spent so much time coding every ounce of hardware into the game that they didn't have time to code the game, and then they released a AAA titled bust. No Man's Sky.
Oh, he said you don't game good.
Dude, the game sucked.
Um,
Like they promised so much stuff and then failed to deliver.
so kind of related to that, I don't have a topic for this, but I did see it earlier on another news site. Star Citizen is getting procedurally generated worlds, similar to what No Man's Sky should have been.
Oh,
Uh,
so we're actually going to get No Man's Sky under a different name.
yeah,
The game we were promised,
everybody,
anyway.
everybody look up Star Citizen. It's a pretty cool game.
Yes, Mom.
It does require a pretty hefty computer to work. So, hey Zach, go look up Star Citizen.
I like how you call me out for having a good PC.
Yeah, yeah, Clint, it could have been amazing. It definitely could have been
It could
amazing.
have. Could have.
Um,
Like, can we rewrite that with could and bold?
right. Yeah, No Man's Sky is just, it's not what it could have been. Same with Spore, even. Spore is kind of the same thing. A great game that didn't live up to its original potential, and it was still kind of procedurally generated and, relied on community content. But anyway, Star Citizen will have procedural or procedurally generated worlds soon. Kind of cool.
Looks like it's also going to have Linux support.
Yeah,
That's freaking baller.
yeah, it is baller. You should switch to Linux.
No, I'm all right.
Okay. So I had one fewer or two fewer stories than you. Would you like me to cover one of yours so we make it even?
Yeah, all the details needed for the time limiting stories right there in all the bulletins.
Okay. I will just skim over this then. Get the article up.
This is CNET,
And, oh,
and here are
thanks,
the
CNET. CNET had an autoplay video.
Yeah, because they're jerks. I'm sorry, I meant to warn you about that before the stream.
That's fine. So, the company Tencent will be introducing time limits on its most popular game, Honor of Kings. So, this only applies to children under 12, but the limits are age-based. They'll consist of a 1 hour max playtime for children under 12 years of age. They'll also not be able to log into the servers after 9 p.m. So this is like a company-established parental control system. So children and teens ages 12 to 18 will have a 2 hour per day playtime, but no log-on time restrictions, so they can log in at any point per day or
Yep.
during the day. The new restrictions are a response to parents and educators having worries about children becoming addicted to the game. And that might be a little more prevalent in China just because of the population and because of like the influence of technology over in Asia right now. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
If you're in Asia, you think we have it bad here in the U.S. With people with their heads in their phones, walking down the street. Like, people die all the time in China because they weren't looking at the road. They would be trying to cross the road and they would be texting or whatever. And
Boom, hit by car.
all the time. It happens extremely frequently.
It's depressing. Like, and that's the thing is I don't get it. Like, how hard is it to look up?
Not that hard.
Just look
How
up.
hard is it to have spatial awareness?
Like,
Like,
that's a huge problem too. Even here in the States, or people put on headphones or earbuds, and then they just walk around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't hear anything going on around you when you have music blasted at full volume in both ears. Like, only use one earbud if you're going to be walking around, streets with traffic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just be aware of your surroundings.
We actually try not to go to Walmart on Sundays anymore, just because the amount of people there. For some reason, there's a large influx of people on Sundays specifically, and nobody in this town has any kind of spatial awareness at all. Um, so you
Honestly,
turn a
go ahead.
corner and you get run over. Insane.
Yeah. A lot of it probably has to do with church on Sunday, just saying.
Yeah, church and some other demographical things that I'll cover later.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I was just thinking because I remember that, growing up,
Hmm.
small town Ohio, everybody would go, all the elderly would go to church on Sunday, and then they're like, well, I'm already out. I might as well do all my running.
Yeah, I mean, this extends well into the nighttime though. So, I mean, maybe it'd be interesting for to talk about in public, but I'll go ahead and cover it after the show today.
Mr. Perry.
Hello, Jonathan Perry,
How's it going,
nice
buddy?
visitor in the Facebook comments for those of you watching on YouTube. Old friend. So,
So just to further, Katie, there are some things which can you post a link to that article, please?
the one I just covered.
Yes. There are a couple links in the bottom of that article that are for limiting video game playtime through like Amazon products and stuff, I believe is what it was. You'll be able to see them at the bottom. It goes good, John. It goes really good. All right.
Ay.
So next story: stream your Steam games to Samsung smart TVs with no extra devices.
Neat.
So it doesn't work on all devices. I tried earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to test it out, so I had something to talk about during, the stream, like firsthand like engagement. But no, it didn't work. So if you are an owner of a 2016 or 2017 Samsung 4K smart TV, you can now stream your Steam games to your TV with no extra devices. I have a 2016 model 1080p smart
That's
TV.
unfortunate.
Yep. So yeah, it's only the 4K ones, unfortunately. So all you have to do is download and install the Steam Link app from your Samsung App Store on the television and let it pair to the PC. According to Valve, you have to use a Steam controller, but PC Gamer was able to get it to work with a wired 360 controller.
Cool.
Valve said that it can be very demanding on higher titles, so a wired connection to the network is recommended, but you can use a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
that.
really nice.
Um,
So this basically you could just do Steam directly to the TV without Steam Link, without like an NVIDIA Shield, without
yep,
any kind of streaming box. It streams directly to the TV.
that's exactly right.
Cool.
As of right now, it only supports 1080p 60 FPS, but Valve promised 4K support before the app leaves beta.
Yeah, I find that really interesting. They're
That
only
it's
supporting 1080p
but
and
it's
only on 4K monitors or 4K TVs.
yeah.
I wonder if that has to do with the SoC, the system on a chip inside of the TV. And they're only putting decent ones in the 4K models. So I wonder if they're going for like the bare minimum processors in these TVs for the 1080p displays.
That's a possibility because
Hmm.
like 1080p is not very hard to push.
No.
Um, at the same time too, maybe it's more of the integrated GPUs into the televisions because when like talking PC, when you're pushing a game at 1080p, it's CPU bound, but anything above 1080p becomes GPU bound.
Well, when I said SoC, that's kind of like a blanket term now for the the chips that are in these consumer electronics. So the
All
SoC
right.
contains the processor and the GPU generally.
I don't follow television crap. They
Uh-huh.
don't make IPC displays, so meh.
Well, I mean, by SoC, I mean SoCs are in TVs, they're in phones, they're in the Raspberry Pi behind me. They're all in all these kind of consumer grade devices, and the structure for ARM SoCs is pretty similar across the board.
Um, so just following up in the comments here,
Yep.
Brandy, yes, 0.7% of people can use this feature. Katie, I know I'm so torn to like Crunchyroll streaming or Steam. Then again, I could pay $50, get the device, use any freaking TV I want.
So hey, really quick, man. You can actually just stream your desktop with Steam. The stream and I'm sorry, the Steam in-home streaming feature, you can share your desktop with it. You just add Explorer.exe as an app on the left hand side, and
I,
you can
I,
stream your desktop.
I just thought of an even dumber way of going about it too, but
You
maybe
buy
I
a
should.
Chromecast.
Well, so my Samsung TV offers screen mirroring,
Mm-hmm.
which is where you link up the TV directly to a enabled smartphone, and it'll just mirror whatever you were doing on the smartphone on the
Don't do
television.
it. Don't
And
do it.
I could call myself in Skype, share my screen,
Don't do it. It's not worth it, Zach.
mirror my screen from the Skype call.
The input lag would be so bad on that.
Oh my crap! Just get an 80-foot HDMI cable.
You could do that too.
Could do that too.
All
Oh,
right. So
geez.
for,
Let me
for my next story here,
hang on.
if
I'm
you'd
just
allow
gonna
me
finish
moving
this one
on.
up. I
Sure.
just want to finish this one up, please. So, final comments are the beta is only open to people within the United States. So,
So that was
yeah,
it.
that was it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Last story for me. Um, Let me get
Last
it.
story from us.
Is it our final story?
Already? What?
Dang, son.
Whoa.
Did we miss something?
We had to have missed something.
We didn't miss anything.
No, we didn't. Holy crap. Wow,
Man.
that was a quick one, guys. All right, final story. Here we go.
Yeah. I gotta hear. Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 are coming to Origin Access. So for those of you out of the know, including myself before I read on this, Origin Access is a monthly subscription service that you pay $4.99 per month for, and you get access to Electronic Arts, basically their entire library of games for PC, which is, to me, kind of worth it. I might pay that. So both Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 will be added to the library later this summer, along with all 4 Star Wars Battlefront expansions and The Sims 4. Now, keep in mind, those are for Star Wars Battlefront, not the upcoming Star Wars Battlefront 2. Users will also get access to FIFA 18, Oxenfree, and the Space Combat RPG Rebel Galaxy.
Sorry. Or anytime I hear anything about EA, I think back to this post I saw where it was talking about different game companies and what, like the slogan should be. And EA's was F developers, F customers, and F you.
Ooh, I mean, it's accurate.
It's very accurate, but
Accurate, yeah.
that's what I think about every time I hear EA now.
I mean, especially since the realization that we came to last week, that Battlefront 2 will be pay to play. Just let me have my Star Wars games. Let me
EA,
play them.
you jerk bags. Oh, there's so many words I want to say to EA that
Not many
I'm
of
not
them
going to
nice,
use.
right?
No, not a whole lot of them. Like,
All right. Well,
Battlefield is a Call of Duty ripoff, and Call of Duty sucks.
I think
So
Battlefield's a bit better. IMO.
it's better, but it's still a ripoff.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely a ripoff.
But it's to the fact that they ripped off a terrible game. It would be like somebody rebuilding No Man's Sky, but worse.
Oh, instead of Star Citizen, right? Instead
Yeah,
of better
like
or worse. Yeah.
yeah.
and make it a huge budget company like EA. But I digress. So yeah, not too bad today. 40 minutes, around that. I would like to remind everyone that all of these stories, or most of these stories, will be available on our website, jargonpodcast.com, either tonight or early tomorrow. And if you don't feel like watching this whole episode, if you came in late, that's fine. It will be up on YouTube as well. And you can always go to the podcast or the website and just read over the articles. I'm getting all my terminology
Words are
completely
hard.
jumbled. Yeah,
Words are hard. Maybe we shouldn't have done a venture that requires words.
I'm just going to require words either way.
Everything requires words. Stupid words. Always butting into my business.
Yes, so if you enjoy this kind of content or you know people that do, go ahead and like our Facebook page, share the post if you haven't, and definitely visit our website for more information.
Yeah, definitely visit the website. It's actually ad free, so there's that
Ad free.
bonus for right now. Um,
Yeah, no promises that it won't be in the future because we got to make that money somehow.
Gotta get that money.
All right. Well, I think that's it for me, and I think Zach's with me there. Thank you again for watching so much. We'll be back Wednesday for the non-gaming version of Jargon Tech.
Yep, the non-gaming version. We got some cool stories coming up for that. Actually, I have a couple saved back, so got some good ones.
Yeah.
Like simulated surgery. That's freaking awesome.
Not quite a game, but
Not quite a game.
getting in there with VR.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it's definitely show up Wednesday to check that out. But yeah. So crap. I don't know what to say. Bye.
Yeah, take care, everybody.